What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome in. We're talking about football today. And man, oh man, it's crazy because when I make these NFL videos, we've cleared on mostly every single one of them. Which I've been having a tough time with football on Sunday, but for the primetime games like Thursday and Monday, for some reason, it's just been a lot easier. I guess it's because when you focus on one game, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of play it. So today we're going with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cleveland Browns, which is the Thursday night game tonight. And let's just get right into it. I'm going to deep dive into my favorite spread picks, my money line pick, and overall what we're expecting for this game in general, and total points and all of that. So let's get it started. First, we're going to start with my money line play for today. We're going with Pittsburgh Steelers minus 180 to beat the Cleveland Browns. I like this play a lot. A lot of the money and the bets are all on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, the Browns have been horrible this season, let's just be honest. So it's not that hard of a play. I mean, you flip these records around. Look, 8-2 and 2-8. They're basically polar opposites. Pittsburgh has been on a roll lately. They had a downward play of offense last week against the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's just because of the divisional matchup. Honestly, the Ravens stepped up a little bit on defense, but even though they stepped up a little bit on defense, Pittsburgh still scored 18 points. No 0% touchdown score that game, which I don't expect this game to have 0 touchdowns. Just my opinion. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to go 2 weeks without scoring a touchdown. I think, having Russell Wilson back there makes it a little bit, easier for them to get the ball down the field, and also gives the players around them a little bit more confidence to, play a little better. And they have been playing a little bit better ever since Russell Wilson stepped back there, and he's been averaging over 200 yards per game, if not plus that. So this is my play for the day. Pittsburgh Steelers, my favorite play is -3, not the 3.5. I don't like the little buffer of 3.5. I mean, you can take the 3.5, but I like it at -3. You can even take it at -1 if they had that option. The -1 should be easy, but they usually don't have the -1 for, football games. But if you can get the -1, man, that could be a good play, just because I believe it's just a good play overall for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now on Hard Rock, you can take the -1, and it's at -175. So that's a really good play to me. Taking the -1 Pittsburgh on that spread, I think they clear that easily. My other play for this game is the under 45 points. So we go all the way up here. We can scroll down. We can take the under 45 points. Home, let's just be honest, Cleveland at home, they've just been bad, but the weather right now is really bad right now in Cleveland. It's windy. It's a lot of snow. So, it's going to be more than likely a lower scoring game. I think that, they don't push past 45 points or 50 points if you want to take 50, but 50 is extremely juiced right now. You can take the under 50. I think you clear that easily against this Pittsburgh team. Pittsburgh is not going to allow a lot of points. The only reason Cleveland has been going over this line is because they're allowing a lot of points to opposing teams. So all games this year, Cleveland has been horrendous, and they've just been giving up points and points to teams that shouldn't even be scoring that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Giants scored 21 on them. Jacksonville, scored 13. That was probably their lowest point total that they've given up to a team. And that's Jacksonville, who's just been horrible all year. But they gave up 33 points to the Cowboys, which, Jesus Christ. They gave up 20 points to Las Vegas, okay? They gave up 34 to Washington. They gave up 20 to the Eagles, 21 to Cincy, 24 to Baltimore, 27 to the Chargers, and just as recently as last week, 35 to the New Orleans Saints, which is just, jeez Louise. And they let Taysom Hill run wild on them. So that's just a little bit less hope for their rushing defense, and overall defense this year has not been up to par with what I believe they could be with Myles Garrett and a lot of the defensive players that they have there. But with that being said, let's get right into the props. Like, my 3 favorite plays for this: Pittsburgh -1 or -3 if you can take that. The under 50 points or under 45, you can take that as well. And Pittsburgh money line should all cash today pretty much easily. And let's get right into it with the props. So we're going to start with Najee Harris and his rushing. So we like Najee Harris today to get, honestly, a rushing touchdown. If we're going to take any touchdown today, we're going to take it on the ground. And I like Najee Harris to get his rushing attempts and rush touchdown because overall against this team, as we can see defensively, rushing yards, they're allowing 131 rushing yards to the running back position or overall in general per game in Cleveland, while the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers are 8th ranked in rushing yards, averaging 136.7 per game, which is just, by God, impressive for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They're actually 38.3% in third down conversions, which is not bad, which low-key, the Browns have been pretty good on third down too, ranking 5th place with their defense, stopping the third down conversions. But let's be honest, I just don't see Pittsburgh being in a lot of third down situations if they're putting the ball on the ground against this team. They're going to be just clearing that the first down lines easily. So I like Najee Harris if somebody's going to score today. It being Najee Harris, head to head, no, he hasn't got it. But let's just be honest. When it comes to football, who cares about these head to head stats and what they've done in previous games? It's about what's happening right now and what the teams are doing right now, because Cleveland last year was a better defensive team than we were this year. They've not played Pittsburgh this year. This will be their first game against Pittsburgh. So in my opinion, I like Najee Harris to get a touchdown. But more than anything, I like his yards to be over 39.5. He's hit this 1 out of 2 times he played them last year. But in 2024, he's been clearing this line 9 out of 10 times this year. Last 5, he's cleared this easily in each game. Minus 440 is a little bit juice, but like I said, we're not probably going to take this straight. We'll probably take the latter, and we'll probably take him for 40, then 50, and then also his rushing touchdown. I like Najee Harris today with his touchdown, just especially because he didn't get it last week. I mean, he has not been consistent this year at all getting touchdowns, let's just be honest. But overall, I believe in Najee Harris to get a touchdown today, especially because a lot of people fade Najee Harris. A lot of people don't really believe in him because of, his season has been so often up and down. But let's just be honest, if you want to take the best play for him, it would be the over 40 yards. He's hit this line more majority of times of this season, 9 out of 10, 2024, 9 out of 10. So we really like this play for Najee Harris. In 2023, he hit this 11 out of 18, but he didn't have Russell Wilson, and their team wasn't as good. They were with Pickett back there. So I like Najee Harris today, rushing yards over 40. And then one of my next plays will be Jaylen Warren to get 2 catches today. Let's check out his receiving since Russell Wilson's been here. In the last 5 games, he had 3, 2, 2, 2, and 4. The volume is there. He's averaging about 3 targets a game. Target share 3 targets. I like that a lot for him. He had 2 receptions, and each time he got those 3 targets. 4 for 4 on targets, 2 for 2. These are check downs, what I'm saying? The running back should be able to catch this, and they definitely put him in passing play situations. They definitely put him in the passing play situations. Najee Harris is their main back when it comes to running the ball, but they have my man over here. When it comes to catching the ball, they like to put Jaylen Warren in there. Against running backs, obviously, they only allow 3.2 receptions allowed, but all we asking is for 2. So, Cleveland has been pretty decent defending the running backs and, catching the ball. As we can see, a head-to-head matchup, he had 3 and 4 against Cleveland the last time they played. 2024, he's cleared this line 7 out of 8 times. The only time he didn't was against the Chargers. And also, Justin Fields was his quarterback. So, that's a thing, too. And then last year, he cleared this 16 out of 18 times. So, we like this a lot for Jaylen Warren to get 2 catches. I think this would be a good play for today. I think this would be one of the best plays of the day is to Jaylen Warren to get 2 catches, because if Russell Wilson is having these weather struggles and the wind and all this, he's going to definitely go to his checkdowns. So I like them to just give the ball to Jaylen Warren in situations where they don't see George Pickens out there deep or Pat Freiermuth is not open. They'll just dump it off to Jaylen Warren, especially in the shotgun. You're not going to see Najee Harris back there. You'll definitely see Jaylen Warren back there. And 92% hit rate, 92% completion rate when he's getting thrown the ball. I like it a lot. You see, he only had 1 target in that game against the Chargers, and he caught the ball. So I like Jaylen Warren on his reception line, and I like Najee Harris's running. I like both of those players together today. And then my next play for the day is the passing yards for my boy Russell Wilson, which they have them all at 149.5, which I just think is a little bit a little bit outrageous, you know what I'm saying, to get him that low. I think that if you can find that line, that would be great. Hard Rock does not give that line. So you don't have that line at Hard Rock. That's not even an option. His line's at 182.5 yards right now, which, let's just be honest, it's something that's doable. It's something that's doable. I like it a lot, 175 for him, especially how he's been playing lately. The weather might be the only key factor to not getting it. Let's see their passing defense. The Cleveland Browns is allowing 211 passing yards per game on defense, while, Pittsburgh hasn't been that great at passing the ball this year. But let's be honest, beginning of the season wasn't Russell Wilson. It was this man, Justin Fields, and he wasn't really passing the ball that much or finding the open targets. He's not really that good of a passer. He was running the ball most of the time. Head to head, last year he was playing for for the Denver Broncos, and Broncos Nation wasn't riding with him at all. They still won that game 29-12, but they didn't really need Russell Wilson that much last year, and especially with how the Broncos played last year. Irrelevant information. So we like how he's been playing as of this year. Last 4 games he's been playing since he's been the starter, he has cleared the 200-yard line in 3 of 4 and the 175-yard line each of the games he's played. 2024 has been a good year for Russell Wilson and Russell Wilson fans. Steelers Nation, let's ride. Okay, so I like Russell Wilson to get 175 yards. If you can find it all the way at 149, that should be the easiest play of the day for you. Okay, 175 is a little bit of a push because of the weather conditions, but because of how Cleveland's defense is, I believe Russell's probably going to get a lot of opportunities today to throw the ball. I don't think they run the ball 50 times. They'll probably run the ball about 20 plus times, probably like 25 tops. So we'll definitely see Russell Wilson get involved, especially with his connection with George Pickens right now. You got Mike Williams coming over from the Jets. He has a lot of options out there to get the ball to some pretty decent targets. And also, Russell Wilson is a very, very consistent quarterback. I mean, last year, even with the Denver Broncos, hit this line 12 out of 15 times. So that's not a bad hit rate for a quarterback that had a down season literally last year. So if he had a down season, this is what he was doing. And the worst games he had was against Kansas City twice and against Cleveland once. But he didn't have as much weapons as he has right now with Pittsburgh. I mean, some people can say that maybe he did. He had Sutton, he had Judy. I mean, I didn't see Judy as a really big threat last year, especially that offensive line. And the Denver Broncos is not even near this Pittsburgh Steelers line. So I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to keep him protected and for him to find his targets today and definitely get over that 175. I like Russell Wilson over 175 today, especially now that Hard Rock has that option. Definitely taking that. I think that would be a good play for Russell Wilson. If you want to go his under 184 because of the weather, completely understandable. But just with the overall play and how he's been playing, even against the Ravens when they were having an off game, didn't score no touchdowns, still got 205. And in a game against Washington, which they were running the ball pretty well, still got 195. And then the other 2 games, I mean, the Jets were pretty much easy to pass on, and so were the Giants. So I think that with this going against this Cleveland Browns defense and how they've been playing as of late, I think it's a pretty good bet to take him to get 175 yards passing. I like that play a lot, and that's my third play. I mean, basically fourth play, the touchdown for Najee Harris, the 40-year rushing yards for Najee Harris, and the 2 catches for Jalen Warren. And then 175 yards for Russell Wilson. And then we got the money line or spread that you can take. And then my very last play, which is something that I got from Guy Boston Sports, which love their channel, love everything about them, man. I love Ev and all the picks that he gives. So pretty efficient picker, man. He really knows what he's talking about. But it's this play right here. George Pickens' longest receptions over 24.5. As we can see the last 5 games, even with Justin Fields, George Pickens is getting the job done. And we love someone who's this consistent. Last 5, 31 against the Las Vegas Raiders. 44 longest reception, 43, 34, 37. So he is blasting this line. He is clearing this line 8 out of 10 this year, which that's just incredible. Even with Justin Fields, he was still getting a 40-yard, 27, 38-yard catch. You know what I'm saying? Justin Fields is now bombing it down the field with them. So that's very impressive for him to still reach that stat line, even though his quarterback wasn't really throwing the ball down the field. So I like George Pickens to get a long reception today. I think he clears this easily, especially with how he's been playing with Russell Wilson. Look at 37, 34, 43, 44, 31. And he did this against pretty decent defenses. He did it against the Raiders, who's not horrible at defense. They're pretty decent at defending the pass. So that's pretty good that he still got 31 as his longest reception. So I like that a lot. 2023, he hit this 9 out of 18 times. But as we said, last year was a whole different situation for the Steelers with the quarterback play that they had. It was god awful. We like George Pickens to get that long reception. His touchdown today, I don't really like it. His over receiving yards for over 40. I like that a lot for him. Last 5, like I said, as soon as Russell Wilson has stepped in, he has cleared this line pretty much easily. So I like George Pickens' receiving yards or his longest reception because, if we get that long reception for 24-plus yards, a 27-yard catch, this should be easy to get his 50 yards or 40 yards. Pretty much all year he's been hitting this except for 2 games. In those 2 games, guess who his quarterback was? It was Justin Fields. And even when he had Justin Fields as a quarterback, he hit this 4 times with him out of 6 games. So I like George Pickens. He's a great target. And against the wide receiver position, they're allowing 156.4 yards to the wide receiver position. And that's just god-awful for this team. We can see that he's getting the targets, about 8 targets a game all year. He's getting the majority, 25% of the target share, which is very, very good, for a star receiver. And he's just been overall always there on those snap counts, 54% overall in this year, 48% of the snap counts. George Pickens is out there, so we can definitely guarantee that he will be on the field and be catching that ball. So I like George Pickens' line over 40 yards or his longest reception over 24.5, which this is my favorite play of the day right here. If you want to take this straight, minus 110, that's some good odds right there. I think George Pickens gets a big play today. If he doesn't get a touchdown, he definitely get a big play today. Even in that snowy weather, Russell Wilson has been actually performing pretty well in the snow. So that's the final play that I have for this game. All of them are Steelers props. I don't like anything for the Browns today because of the weather conditions and because of the defense they're going against. It's hard to say that Jameis Winston's going to have a better day than Lamar Jackson had on Sunday. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be stomping on this Cleveland Browns team today. That's why I like the under 45 points. I think if there's anybody scoring today, it is the Steelers. They have their line at 18.5 for points. So if you want to take the Pittsburgh Steelers points as well, over 18.5 or over 19.5, I think that's an amazing play. I think they get to 20 points today. I don't know if they get past 20 points or 21 points, but I do definitely think they get to 20 points. And if we're going with anybody scoring a lot today, we're definitely going with the kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the kicker to get over 2 field goals today, even in this snowy condition, because if we get towards the red zone and we're not able to get the ball in with Najee Harris, I definitely believe this kicker will definitely get 2. I think it's Chris Boswell as their kicker, who's been very consistent. He's 2024, he's hit this 7 out of 10 times this year, over 1.5 head-to-head. He hit 2 and 1, but let's just be honest, like I said last year, it's very, very much of an outlier because of the quarterback they had. Wasn't anything good. 7 out of 10 this year, 9 out of 18 last year, so I like Chris Boswell to get 2 field goals in today against this bad team. So that's my picks for today. Scoring-wise, Chris Boswell or Najee Harris touchdown is the only scoring props I like when it comes to touchdowns or field goals. And then my prop plays are the prop plays I provided you today. So if you're tailing any of this, let me know in the comment section below. If you like these picks, comment down. What do you think? What are you going with today? Do you think that Pittsburgh wins? Do you think this is an underdog spot where Cleveland might just step up and try to play harder than they've played all season with Jameis Winston? Let me know what you think. I just don't see it happening, especially with the steel curtain out there, man. These boys on defense are serious. So they're not playing around. Mike Tomlin, I'm going to take his coaching over any coach in the NFL. One of the best coaches of all time, Mike Tomlin, hands down. Nobody can tell me differently. These are my picks for today. Tell me what you think. And if you like these picks, comment down below. Like, share this video. Subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And it helps me keep going and making these videos. We'll definitely have a Sunday football take for a couple of these games. Most likely we'll do Sunday night football and Monday night football. I don't really like the morning games anymore. They've been pretty bad on me. But there are some good picks, like, Detroit Lions beating the Colts. I think that's an easy play, even though the Colts play better at home. But we'll stick with Thursday Night Football right now. Pittsburgh Steelers money line, or -1 or -3, under 45 points in this game. Pittsburgh Steelers over 18.5 or 19.5 points. I'll put everything down in the comment section so you'll have it pinned out there. But until next time, I'll see y'all tomorrow. We have a good slate of basketball games, which I like more than the slate today. So we'll definitely go with that. But until next time, y'all, hope you guys have a great day. Peace.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.